Very good morning, children. Welcome to 8th Standard Science. Today, we are going to study chapter number 13 in science, that is chemical change and chemical bond. And in this chapter, we are going to discuss about types of changes, information about ionic and covalent bond, and how to write word equations. So children, open your textbook and keep a pencil with you. So children, first of all, tell me, what do you mean by changes? Changes, that means, in short, we can say that to make something different, okay, or to become different. So children, we know that changes can be classified in two types. The first one is physical changes and the second one is chemical types of changes. So, what is physical changes? Let's revise fast. Already children, we have studied in previous classes. So, physical changes where no new substance is formed and these kind of changes are known as physical changes. And what are the chemical changes? So, we can say that the change due to which one substance that is transformed into the another substance, okay, and having new substance or different properties. So then it is called a chemical change. That means chemical kind of change always occur a new property and new substance. So ripening of mango, melting of ice, right, boiling of water, okay, ripening of banana, fragrance on ripening fruit, okay, darkening of a cut potato, bursting of an inflated balloon, sound of bursting firecrackers, foul smell from a spoiled food. So during any chemical change, composition of original substances due to form a new substances with a different composition and property. So children, how can we differentiate in between physical change and chemical change? So in physical change, the composition of the original substance, it does not change, okay. But while chemical change, the composition of original substance changes and new substance are formed. So children, whenever a chemical changes occurs, so it is said that chemical reaction has taken place. So children, in this picture we can see some examples, okay. So by seeing these kind of examples, we can easily differentiate, like change in color, okay, as we can see in the picture, then we can see the change in taste as well, right, then release of gases. So as we can see this bread in the picture, so a bread turns brown on heating. That means what? That means there is a chemical change has taken place. Now let's discuss in detail about these kind of changes.
Composition of matter changes during a chemical change and new substance having different properties are formed. So here you can see the burning of wood on the screen. So when the burning of wood burning converted into the ashes. So what happens? The properties of ashes are different from the wood. That means a new compound is formed and the properties are of a new compound is different from the original compound. And when this happens, some chemical bonds in the reactants break and a new substance called products are formed. Here you can see the general equation, a general chemical equation on the screen, that is when reactants are converted into the products. What happened in the reactants? Some bond breaks and while forming the products, new bonds are formed. So student, today we are going to learn about the concept of chemical bonds, that how bonds are forming, how the old bonds are breaking, how new bonds are forming while form a new products. So let's start. Students, let's learn about the chemical bonds. So before starting the chemical bond concept, let's have a look on the relationship between electronic configuration and valency. First of all, what is electronic configuration? The electronic configuration is the distribution of electrons of an atom or molecule in an atomic orbitals. Now students, we know that in atoms different orbits are there, that is k, l, m and n. So the distribution of electrons in the k, l, m, n shells are nothing but the electronic configuration. Now valency. So the valency of an element is related to how many electrons are in the outer shell. That means how many electrons are present in the outermost or last shell. So this is the electronic configuration and valency of an element. So student, here you can see the neon. So noble and neon is noble gas. So noble gases do not form any chemical bond as their electron or their last shell is completely filled, or we can see its octet or duplet is complete. So student, you can see a neon, the last shell is completely filled. That means in the last shell 8 electrons are present or octet is complete. While the atoms with incomplete electron, octet or duplet form chemical bonds. So student, you can see the oxygen atom, and in the last shell of the oxygen atom there are total 6 electrons. That means its octet or duplet is not complete with the 8 electrons. So these atoms can form a new bond with the other elements. So here you can see the example of a water molecule, that is H2O. So as the oxygen octet of oxygen is not complete, what happened? It will form a new bonds with the 2 hydrogen atom and a new water molecule is formed. So reason for this is that an atom uses its valence electrons during formation of a chemical bond. Moreover, on forming chemical bonds equal to its valency, the atom attains the electronic configuration of complete octet or duplet. So you can see in the water molecule, when oxygen reacts with the 2 hydrogen atom, its octet is completely filled and a new molecule is formed. Now let's learn about the different types of chemical bonds. So there are 2 types of chemical bond. First is ionic bond and second is covalent bond. So in today's video we will learn only about the ionic bond. Now let's understand what is a ionic bond. So for this, let us first see how the compound sodium chloride is formed from the atoms of the constituent elements sodium and chlorine. That means sodium chloride, it is a salt and it is forming by the atoms of sodium and chlorine. So for this purpose, let us see the electronic configuration of sodium and chlorine. So here the elements sodium and chlorine are present to form sodium chloride. So electronic configuration of sodium is 281 and the valency is 1. And what is valency? The electrons which are present in the last shell. And the chlorine, its electronic configuration is 287 and the valency is also 1. So how 1? The electrons are present greater than 4. That's why we will that's why its valency is 1. That means it has the ability to gain 1 electron. Now we have seen the correlation that the valence 1 as it has 1 electron in its valence shell. Valence shell is last. And the valency of chlorine is 1 as its valence shell is short of 1 electron to have a complete octet. Now on loss of valence electron from M shell, the penultimate shell L of sodium atom becomes outermost shell. Now penultimate shell means the shell under the valence shell. That means second last shell. And it has 8 electrons in it. Now student, you can see sodium atom. It is a neutral atom. That means here the partially its 1 electron is present in its last shell. So it will loses its 1 electron to form a sodium ion, that is Na plus ion, and after losing 1 electron its octet will complete and the electronic configuration becomes 2,8. Now on the other hand, this is a neutral atom, and on the other hand valence shell of chlorine atom contains an electron less to the octet state. You can see the last shell contains 7 electron and on accepting an electron from outside, octet of chlorine is complete. However, the charge balance is distributed due to the addition of an electron to the neutral chlorine atom, and this results in the formation of an anion chlorine minus carrying a net negative charge -1. So student, you can see a neutral atom of sodium converted into the positively charged cation. Cation means positively charged, and the neutral atom gains one neutral atom of chlorine gains one electron, and it will form negatively charged anion, that is chlorine minus ion, and its electronic configuration becomes 288. That means it is completely, octet is completely filled. Now when the elements sodium and chlorine combine, you can see in the picture that sodium loses its one electron and chlorine will accepts one electron, so that it form a anion and cation. So and chlorine combine, an atom of sodium gives its valence electron to a chlorine atom, whereby the cations sodium, that is positively charged atom, and anions chlorine, that is negatively charged atoms, are formed. And due to the electrostatic force of attraction between opposite charges, that means sodium plus and chlorine minus, ions get attracted to each other and a chemical bond is formed between them, and the chemical bond which is formed between the cation and anion. So the chemical bond formed due to an electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged cation and anion is called an ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So between the sodium cation and chlorine anion, the ionic bond is formed. That means between the oppositely charged particles, oppositely charged ions. The compound formed by means of one or more ionic bond is called as a ionic compound. It's called as an ionic compound. Now student, here we can take the another example of ionic formation of ionic bond, in which you can see the magnesium compound. Magnesium element is reacted with the two elements of the chlorine. So you can see the outermost shell of the magnesium contains 2 electrons. So what happened, it will loses its 2 electron, and the 2 chlorine atom will gain that 2 electrons from the magnesium, and it will form, and magnesium will, after losing 2 electron, what happened, it will convert it into the Mg plus 2 plus ion. Why 2 plus? Because it loses 2 electron, and the chlorine will convert it into the Cl minus, so that they will accept 1 electrons each. So in between the magnesium cation and chlorine anion, MgCl2 is formed, and ionic bond is formed between these two oppositely charged ions. So here you can see the electronic configuration of magnesium is 2,8, and the chlorine before accepting it is 2,8,7. Now after losing the 2 electron, the magnesium becomes 2,8, and the electronic configuration of chlorine becomes 2,8,8, that is completely. Now another example of ionic bond is between the calcium and oxygen. So student, you can see on the screen that calcium, electronic configuration of calcium is 2,8,8,2. That means total 20 electrons are present. Now what happened, the 2 electrons are present in the outermost shell of the calcium, and the oxygen electronic configuration of oxygen is 2,6. So to attain the octet state, oxygen required 2 electrons, and calcium will loses 2 electron. So what happened, calcium will loses its 2 electron, and oxygen will accept the 2 more electron to complete the octet state. So after losing the 2 electrons, electronic configuration of calcium becomes 2,8,8, and after accepting the 2 electrons, the oxygen electronic configuration of oxygen becomes 2,8,8. So after losing 2 electrons, calcium will form calcium plus cation, and oxygen will form oxygen minus anion. So due to the electrostatic force of attraction between these two oppositely charged ions, an ionic bond is formed. Take one more example of ionic bond between the two compounds, that is potassium and fluorine. So the potassium electronic configuration of potassium is 2881. So what it will do, it will lose its one electron, and the chlorine, it will accept one electron. That means transfer of one electron between potassium and chlorine will takes place, and after losing, potassium will form K plus, that is potassium cation, and chlorine will form Cl minus, that is chloride anion. So due to the electrostatic force of attraction between two oppositely charged ions, the ionic bonds will form. So student, here we have finished our this session in which we have seen what is ionic bond and the example of ionic bond in. Welcome dear student. Do you observe burning of wood on the screen, and when all wood gets burned, it is converted into the black ashes. That means the property of ashes are different from the wood, and this change is nothing but a chemical change. That means change in the chemical properties of the substances. So today our topic is chemical change and chemical bond, and this is a part 1 video of this lesson. So let's begin with the lesson. Before starting the lesson, let's answer few questions. First is, what are the methods of classification of changes? So there are different methods of classification of changes. So first is the physical changes, and next is the chemical changes. Next question is, what is the difference between the physical changes and chemical changes? So first you can see the picture on the screen that chocolate is getting melted and it is converted into the liquid form. That means and this is an example of physical change. Now physical change refers to a change where new substances do not form, and it's reversible changes. That means we can easily recover the original substances of the product. That means the solid chocolate is converted into the liquid, and again the liquid after freezing it is converted into solid. That means this is a reversible change. Now next example we have is the frying of egg. So in frying of an egg, the chemical properties of fried egg and raw egg are different. So this is a chemical change, and which refers to any change which results in the formation of a new substances. That means its chemical properties are changes from the original substances or original object. Hence we cannot recover, and therefore it is irreversible, and these changes are permanent changes. That means the fried eggs cannot be converted into the raw egg. So this is a irreversible changes. Now let's understand what is the chemical change. Now a chemical change happens when one chemical substance is transformed into one or more different substances, and its property and composition are different from the original one. Now let's see one example. So this is an iron chain, and this is after the corrosion of the iron chain, what happened, it is converted into the rusted chain. So this is the example of the chemical change in which the chemical properties of the rusted iron chain is different than the original iron chain. So this is a chemical change, and these changes are permanent changes. Now next we have to perform one activity, and for that take the lemon juice in a clean glass and take 2 drops of a lemon juice in a spoon and taste it, and after that add a pinch of baking soda in the glass of lemon juice. Now after adding the baking soda into the lemon juice, what happened, let's observe. So what happened, the effervescence or the bubbles are coming out from the solution. So that means the lemon juice is converted into the new type of a solution, and its change also, taste has been changed. Now many perceivable observations are noticed during this activity. a gas is seen to be liberating. That means the bubble form. What is this? This is nothing but a gas which is liberating in the form of bubbles, and a low sound is also heard. The white solid particles of a baking soda disappear and the original sour taste becomes mild or diminishes. That means its chemical changes and taste are changed from the original lemon solution. And from this it is understood that a new substance having a different taste is formed. At the end of the above change, the taste of a substance was different, means its composition was different from the original, and thus during the change the composition of the original substance changed to form a new substance with different properties, and thus the change that takes place on adding baking soda to the lemon juice is a chemical change. And sometimes some characteristic observations are perceived during a chemical change. Now these enable us to know that a chemical change has taken place, and due to this the properties of the lemon is converted after adding the baking soda. These are the effervescent. Now here we have some example of the chemical change. That means the banana is converted into the ripened banana. So you can see the original banana and the ripe banana, how the change and properties are changes. Next is the fresh bread is converted into the it is getting decayed. That means the chemical property of fresh is different from the decayed bread. Next we have the cut of the cut potato is converted into the blackish colored. That means the chemical properties are changes. Next we have a iron rust. That means after rusting the chemical properties of the iron getting changed, and these are the permanent changes. Now next we have is a chemical change and a word equation. Now let's see what it is. Now during a chemical change, the chemical composition of the original matter changes and a new substance form having different properties and different chemical composition are formed. A chemical equation can be written for a chemical change if the exact change in chemical composition is known. Now students, name and chemical formula of original substance and a newly formed substance are used while writing a chemical equation. Now we are taking one example and we will write the chemical equation of this example. With this example, now when baking soda is added to the lemon juice, a chemical change takes place. In the citric acid which is present in the lemon, and the gas formed is carbon dioxide. So the gas form is nothing but a bubbles coming out from the solution. You can see in the picture also. And the word equation of this chemical change can be written as, and this is known as a chemical reaction. So the word equation is citric acid plus sodium bicarbonate. It will convert it into the carbon dioxide and sodium citrate. And citric acid is acid, sodium bicarbonate is alkali, and after getting converted it will carbon dioxide gas is released and salt is formed. It is sodium citrate. Now students, first step of writing a chemical equation is to write a word equation by using the names of the concerned substances. So student, on the screen you can see the equation of the cellular respiration. This we have already did in our respiration chapter. You can see you can check the video in the playlist. Now glucose plus oxygen is getting converted into the carbon dioxide, water, and the ATP or energy is given out during this cellular reaction. So this is a word equation, and when the chemical formula is written in place of each of the name, it becomes a chemical equation. So this is a chemical equation, and above the word equation was there. So chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6, and for oxygen it is O2, carbon dioxide CO2, water H2O, and this is ATP. So this is a chemical equation where the chemical formulas are written. Now, while writing a chemical equation, original substances are written on the left side and newly formed substances are written on the right side. So the substances which are written on the right side, they are known as a reactant, and the substances or the results which are forming, these are written on the left hand side, and these are known as a product, and the reaction is denoted by the arrow, and this arrow pointing towards a product. That means reactants are converted into the products. So these are the reactant and these are the products. So this is all about the chemical equation and how the chemical equation is written. Now let's learn about the chemical changes in our everyday life. Now we find many examples of chemical changes in our surrounding, body, home and laboratory. Let us see some chemical changes for which word and chemical equation can be written easily. So first is the natural chemical changes and next is the man-made chemical changes. So now let's learn one by one what are the natural and man-made chemical changes. First is respiration. Now this respiration comes under the natural chemical changes. Now respiration is a continuously occurring biological process, and in this process we inhale the air and exhale carbon dioxide and water vapor. And after an in-depth study, it is learned that glucose in the cells reacts with the oxygen in the inhaled air to form carbon dioxide. Now the word equation for the respiration can be written like this: glucose plus oxygen. It will gives carbon dioxide, water and ATP, that means energy. Now we can write the chemical equation, that means the in place of the words we can write the chemical formula. Now C6H12O6 plus O2 will gives us carbon dioxide, water and ATP. So glucose and oxygen are the reactant, carbon dioxide, water are the products. Now next chemical change example is lime water turns milky. Now what here we have to do one activity, that means we have to take some freshly prepared lime water, that is solution of calcium hydroxide, in a test tube. So this is a clear solution of lime water, and keep on blowing in it with a blow tube. What is seen after some time? Now here after some more time we will find that a white insoluble solid settles at the bottom of the test tube, and this is a precipitate of calcium carbonate. The turning milky milk got lime water means that the blown gas mixed in it was carbon dioxide. So the word equation can be written like this, that carbon dioxide plus calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide is a lime water. It is getting converted into calcium carbonate and water. Now let's see the chemical equation, how the chemical equation is written. This is carbon dioxide getting mixed with calcium hydroxide, so it will gives calcium carbonate water. Now carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide are reactants and calcium carbonate and water are the products. So this is how the clear solution of lime water turning milky after addition of carbon dioxide. Now next is the photosynthesis. Now photosynthesis is a process in which the green plants perform prepare their food in the presence of sunlight. So a word equation can be written like this, that is carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and pigment chlorophyll, it will gives glucose and oxygen. Chemical equation can be written like this, that is carbon dioxide plus H2O will gives C6H12O6 plus O2. Now carbon dioxide and water are the reactants and glucose and oxygen are the products. Now next chemical changes are the man-made chemical changes. So first is the combustion of fuels, that means burning of fuels. Now when wood, coal, petrol or cooking gas are burnt for getting energy, the common substances that burn in all these fuels is carbon, and during this combustion process carbon combined with oxygen in air and the product carbon dioxide is formed. So the word equation for this combustion of fuels can be written like this, that is carbon plus oxygen which is present in the air gives us carbon dioxide. In chemical equation, that is carbon C plus oxygen O2 gives us carbon dioxide, that is CO2. Now next is cleaning Shahbaz tile with dilute HCl. Now the chemical composition of the Shahbaz tile is mainly the calcium carbonate, and during its cleaning with hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, the upper layer of the tile react with hydrochloric acid and three products are formed. So the word equation of this process can be written as calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid gives us calcium chloride plus carbon dioxide plus water, and the chemical equation will be like this, that is CaCO3 for calcium carbonate, HCl hydrochloric acid, and the arrow will represent the product, that is calcium chloride CaCl2, carbon dioxide CO2 and water. So in this reaction we have three products and two reactants. Next is softening of hard water. Now some wells or tube wells have hard water and it is brackish to taste, that means the taste is more salty and does not form lather with soap, and this is because of hard water contains the chlorine and sulfate salts of calcium and magnesium is dissolved state. Now to soften the hard water, a solution of washing soda is added to it, and this result in a chemical reaction to form a precipitate of insoluble carbonate salts of calcium and magnesium. So the word equation for this process is written like this, calcium chloride plus sodium carbonate gives us calcium carbonate and sodium chloride, and chemical equation will be CaCl2, that is calcium chloride, sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3, and the products are forming, that is CaCO3 calcium carbonate and NaCl sodium chloride. So NaCl is salt. So student, this was all about the chemical changes which are happening in our daily life or in our body and in our surroundings. So I hope you all have understood this well. Welcome dear student. Let's start today's video with a new concept. So in this video we shall learn about the covalent bond. So in our previous video we have already learned about the one type of a chemical bond, that was ionic bond. And what is an ionic bond? Let's see the definition. The chemical bond formed due to an electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged cation and anion is called an ionic bond. So in today's video we shall learn about covalent bond. Let's start with the concept, and this is, so student, let's see what is a covalent bond. So a covalent bond is formed when atoms of two elements having similar properties, that means the atoms like hydrogen bond, so hydrogen atom. So these covalent bond forming between the two similar atoms or two similar elements, and such atoms cannot exchange electron. Instead these atoms share electron with each other, that means the elements having the similar property or identical property, they will share their electron with each other and they will form covalent bond. The shared electrons become a common property of both the atoms, and thereby the electron duplet or octet of both the atoms becomes complete. That means while sharing the electron with each other, their octet or their last shell is completely filled with the proper number of electron. So what in short, what is a covalent bond? This is a bond which is forming between the two identical elements, and this formed by sharing of electrons between the two atoms. Now let's understand the types of a covalent bond. So here first type of a covalent bond is a single bond, in which it is formed between the two atoms and share a pair of electron. That means when atoms share two electron, single covalent bond formed. So suppose example is hydrogen molecule. So while sharing the two electrons, the one single covalent bond formed between the hydrogen molecule. Second is double bond. So it is formed between the two atoms when they share two pairs of electrons. That means sharing of 4 electrons form two double covalent bond. An example is like this oxygen molecule. So you can see them by sharing the 4 electrons or 2 pairs of electrons, the double covalent bond is formed between oxygen molecule. Now triple bond. It is formed between the two atoms when they share 3 pairs of electron. Now 3 pairs of electron, that means total 3 electron. And you can see the in between the nitrogen atoms, the triple bond formed. 3 covalent bonds are there. So example is nitrogen molecule. You can clearly observe the picture and you can see the triple bond is formed by sharing of 3 pairs of electron or 6 electrons, total 6 electrons. So these all were the types of covalent bond. Now we will see the formation of a covalent bond between different molecule. So let us first consider an example of the hydrogen molecule. So student, we know that hydrogen atoms contain only one electron in its first shell and its duplet is short of 1 electron, and therefore the valency of hydrogen is 1. That means as the shell contain only 1 electron, so valency of hydrogen is 1. And the two atoms of hydrogen are identical and have similar tendency, and therefore they share their electrons with each other. That means two hydrogen atom having having similar properties, they share their electron with each other, and as a result the electron duplet of both the hydrogen atom is complete and a chemical bond is formed between them. And the chemical bond, which is formed by sharing of valence electron of two hydrogen atoms with each other, is called as a covalent bond. That means a bond which is forming by sharing of electron is nothing but a covalent bond. So from two hydrogen atom, a hydrogen molecule can be formed with a single covalent bond. And the hydrogen molecule from two hydrogen atoms using the diagrammatic representation of electronic configuration, you can see on the screen. And a covalent bond between two atoms is also represented by dash joining their symbol. So this was the first example of covalent bond. Now let's consider the second example. It is a covalent bond formed in water molecule, that is H2O. Now the water molecule of a covalent compound is formed from the hydrogen and oxygen atom, and there are 6 electrons in the valence shell of oxygen atom. You can see there are total 6 electrons in the second shell of the oxygen atom. It means that the electron octet in oxygen is short of 2 electrons and the valency of oxygen is 2. That means if it will gain 2 electron from the next hydrogen atom, its electron duplet will complete. And in the water molecule, the oxygen atom completes its octet by forming 2 covalent bonds, one each with the 2 hydrogen atom. And while this happens, the duplets of the hydrogen atoms also are completed. So the sharing of electron takes place between the one oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. So both 3 atoms complete their octet state and they will form the water molecule. And here also 2 covalent bonds are formed, but it is single bond. That is water molecule. You can see the formation of the water molecule from 2 atoms, 3 atoms, that is 1 oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. Let's consider the third example. Covalent bond is in HCl or hydrochloride. Now there is one covalent bond between the component atoms of hydrogen and chlorine of the molecule HCl. That means in chlorine the electronic configuration is 287. That means chlorine require one electron from the hydrogen atom to complete its octet state. So what happened? Chlorine and sharing of electron takes place between the hydrogen and chlorine to form the HCl compound or hydrochloride compound. So this is how the covalent bond is formed, by sharing of the electron between the atoms of element having identical property or similar property. So student, I hope you all have understood.
So children, now I hope you all have understood the chapter well. Okay, so solve the exercise by given PDF in your CW. Okay children, thank you.